Now for here we bogide, we come to here say, they want legalize gay inside this country. This LGBT, lesbians, gay, transgender, bisexual. Say they want legalize them. Come to here, SAMOA agreement, up and down. I even confused. I say, wait it be SAMOA agreement. I say, okay, make I go find out. I don't find out now. They don't talk for national TV. I say, my can't come now. So that when I go understand what it be. SAMOA agreement when Nigeria carry themselves enter with EU, European Union and other countries. The agreement, you get a CBO. But we're gonna see a breakdown so that when I go understand what it be this SAMOA agreement where everybody on the shout up and down. Hey, SAMOA agreement. They want to legalize gay. Legalize gay. Help me watch this video.
Just call it the state of the nation. But one of the things we want to start with is that particular SAMOA agreement that has been causing controversy. So just as a background, Nigeria signed up to this agreement called the SAMOA agreement that involves the EU and Africa, Pacific, and other organizations in that particular agreement. So this is what the controversial, just if you guys can hold it there for me. So EU, European Union, and Africa, Caribbean, Pacific states signed an agreement. And some people raise flags on some of the provisions of that particular agreement. It's called the SAMOA agreement. So that Article 2.5, the party shall systematically promote a gender perspective and ensure that gender equality is mainstream across all policies. A lot of people are not comfortable with that. The argument here is the fact that there's a suspicion that this is an implicit or indirect way to introduce LGBTQ into Nigeria, which our laws are against. I mean, the Same-Sex Prohibition Act 2014 or 2013 is clearly against. So you can see that second provision. The party shall support universal access to sexual and reproductive health commodities and healthcare services, including for family planning, information and education, and the integration of reproductive health into national strategies and programs. We can go to the next article, which is Article 36.2. The parties commit to the full and effective implementation of the Beijing Declaration and Platform for Action and the Program of Action of the International Conference on Population and Development and the outcomes of their review conference, and commit to sexual and reproductive health and rights in that context. So these clauses are what the agitators are saying you have to take it out, else Nigeria should unsign this agreement. And there are even constitutional issues as to the issue of duality of concepts when it comes to domesticating this kind of law and all of that. So it's a gamut of issues.
You see them. You see all those agreements with it there. In fact, the main thing, the only thing that you can take away from that agreement, now these they are sexual tolerance, sexual this one, that one, tolerate each other, allow sexual rights, this one, that. Now just with the just did they talk inside the agreement. We could tolerate people will get useless sexual sexual urge, or people they just won't do themselves sexually, so we accommodate them because they have a right, man follow man, woman follow woman, man turn to woman, woman turn to man, all those kind of rubbish that you can find in the Western world. We're not too there for Africa. Now they say Nigeria go sign part of the agreement, because this SAMOA agreement now, if you don't sign them, that means the countries now will sign this agreement together with EU, some the Caribbean countries, those ones in the Pacific, they do trade together, business together, develop each other, rub my back, I rub your back. Now the kind of arrangement with the SAMOA agreement now they talk about, so to help the member states to develop themselves. Now why Nigeria go sign up, not minding that they go legalize gay. You know that's how they talk too much. He get one guy we analyze this thing where he said, if I say these people, this government, they don't know anything, they just run go sign something where they don't know. Because government don't come and say, hey, the agreement that they signed, it does not have anything to do with LGBTQ. Lesbian, gay, transgender, bisexual, and the Q they are not waiting to meet. Say you don't get anything to do with them. Say it's just an agreement to help Nigeria grow economically and otherwise. But this man won't show now go say take break them down and prove it that the government they don't know what they do. Make una help me watch this video.
So I don't think the federal government, I think it amounts to intellectual duplicity with profound respect to say that the SAMOA agreement does not have anything to do with LGBTQ. The argument that should be had is having signed to this agreement, having become a state party to this agreement, can it supersede, can it override, can it take precedence over the Same-Sex Marriage Prohibition Act? My understanding of the law is that the answer is unanimously in the negative, namely that because an act of the National Assembly has clearly prohibited same-sex marriages and same-sex relationships in certain ways, international conventions, international agreements cannot defeat that law. Now, for the federal government to even make it enforceable, right, because I need to make this point clear, you can't enforce a law, a penal legislation, either through prosecution or by just being unwilling. That is what the Tinubu administration can do, is that they cannot record, for example, tell the police, we don't want you to arrest members of the LGBT community. That will be consistent with the SAMOA agreement. So they don't necessarily, because I heard the guests in Abuja say that they need to go to National Assembly to amend the act. Every person who understands how governance works knows that matters of law enforcement are executive responsibilities. So if the president, for example, has a conversation with the Inspector General of Police and says that, look, in view of the SAMOA agreement, in view of the benefits Nigeria and this government stands to gain, I do not want to see LGBT community people being arrested. That will be promotive of that agreement. But I must say, but to the extent that we have a subsisting law known as the Same-Sex Marriage Prohibition Act, the SAMOA agreement does not grant any immunity to members of the LGBTQ. But the conversation that we must further have, because I have seen this thing in Africa, where African, leaders seems to make the LGBT argument more or less about politics and so on. So I just needed to make that point, that on the basis of law, the SAMOA agreement cannot take precedence over Nigerian constitution.
You see him? You see how the guy break him down. Say, how you go sign an agreement? And these are the words in that agreement. And you don't know what you talk. Sexual tolerance, sexual rights, sexual this, sexual that. Why not sexual? Now you full inside the agreement. Agreement what we say, if you sign them, we're going to help each other in trade and commerce, develop each other, do business together. Waiting come bring sex inside the agreement. Waiting carry sex and sex na trade, na development. Waiting carry sex enter inside. On see as they use sex, Casablanca everywhere. Una still go sign and say una no sign anything wey concern LGBT or gay. If you say na illiterate dey inside this government, I go be like say we dey talk too much. If una not take go sign, carry us enter that una gay confraternity, say una dey sign SAMOA agreement. But go sign us come out because gay cannot. No. There is already a law, a bill inside this country prohibiting all this their gayism. So you cannot go and sign an agreement because you be president. Then your agreement will not override the law of the land. No, now your own agreement will get law made by the National Assembly. It cannot override it. And now it's that man they talk. So all this when they talk and I say this and that. Now lie, you no go work. That's SAMOA agreement. As na take go sign them, make una still go on sign them because you no go work. If I catch any gay near me, he can collect a slap. I go use you slap. No near me, they do gay. They do pele. Yeah, no near me. Even if they pass the law, even if they say, gay don't they like inside this. If you near me, you go collect. What's that? SAMOA agreement. Agreement will be seen as sex. Like full inside. You still go sign and say, you do not sign anything that has to do with lesbians, gay, transgender, and bisexual. I go see una later, I beg.
For over a decade, this has been the birthplace of innovation. Innocent Vehicles is a testament to resilience, employing international best practices to create more than just a car. Every vehicle here tells a story of durability, fuel economy and safety. Crafted with the African spirit, the Nigerian heart. These vehicles surrounding me embody the unique concept of regionalization, each one designed to cater to the tastes and preferences of our people. From the streets in Nigeria to the terrains of the Sahara, these vehicles are designed for our roads, for our people. This is more than a vehicle. It's a symbol of our progress, our resilience, our collective success story. Your feedback drives us to continuously innovate and improve. Innocent Vehicle, the pride of African roads.